Et salut tout le monde, c'est Mister Zay, j'espère que vous allez bien. Putain, mon son il tape vachement haut. Oh là là, je l'ai vu taper dans le rouge. Attendez. Ah, ok, c'est bon. Donc je disais, salut tout le monde, c'est Mister Zay, j'espère que vous allez bien. On se retrouve aujourd'hui pour faire du Slay the... Le jeu Le... Merci. Du Slay the Princess. Un jeu que j'ai depuis très longtemps dans ma truc Steam, mais que j'ai jamais fait parce qu'il n'y avait pas de français. Enfin si, je l'ai déjà fait, mais c'était en anglais, c'était super chiant parce que vous connaissez mon niveau en anglais qui est minable. Et du coup maintenant on va le faire ensemble, vu qu'ils ont mis la version française il n'y a pas très longtemps. Vous avez déjà dû le voir passer sur d'autres chaînes, je l'ai vu passer moi. Et du coup on va se lancer dans cette nouvelle épopée fantastique. Si vous aviez seulement le bon écran, ça serait parfait. Ouais, c'est bien ce que je pensais. C'est pas un jeu, n'est-ce pas, dans ta tête. On va faire l'autre technique. Tac, tac. Tac. Alors, mon grand, pour commencer. Ah, ils ont mis plein de trucs. Ils ont rajouté des trucs. Préférence. Préférence. C'est adorable. Mais je suis sourd. Du coup, on se permet de les avoir forts. Je suis prince de Bel Air. Non. Patati patata, tout est bon. Il me semble que je suis obligé de mettre ma cam de l'autre côté. Parce qu'il me semble bien que les écrits vont être de ce côté. Ouais, ils ont modifié ça. Du coup, tant pis pour le titre pour cette fois. Nouvelle partie. Le héros et la princesse. Je suis un héros, pas un chevalier.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Techniquement, que je le fasse ou je le fasse pas, la fin du monde est inévitable. Mais enfin bref, continuons. Ah, donc j'avais bien raison, les écrits sont là-bas. Ah, c'est rigolo. Enfin bref. La fin du monde, vous pouvez être plus
I'm
précis.
talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Mhm. Mais comment une princesse fait dans un sous-sol pourrait-elle causer la fin du monde?
Don't linger on
Ne
the
vous attardez
specifics.
pas sur les
You
détails.
have a job to do here. Just
Vous avez
get in
une
there
tâche à
and do
accomplir.
what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Allez-y, faites ce qui doit être fait, nous comptons sur vous. Oui. Amenez-vous des preuves concrètes de ce que vous
You're
avancez.
already
Le
on the
casse-couille, tu
path
sais.
that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Oui, non mais je veux dire, concrètement, je suis pas obligé de la tuer. Oh mais les phrases, c'est vraiment du casse-couille de base. Ils font mes cheveux. Je vais y péter un câble, ça y est. Avez-vous envisagé qu'elle pourrait causer la fin du monde uniquement parce qu'elle est enfermée?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Mais le temps ne nous est pas compté. Car plus on perd de temps, plus elle vieillit et plus elle a des chances de mourir. Surtout dans une cave, attachée. Donc techniquement, vous avez le temps de me
Nevertheless,
répondre.
let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
Mhm.
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
Oui, vas-y.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
Mhm.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
Mhm.
Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Je suis pas convaincu. Attends, je regarde un peu tout. Ouais, c'est ça. Est-ce que si je le fais, je reçois quelque chose?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Mais c'est quoi? Ah ah. Oui, c'est ça, c'est quoi ma récompense?
It's a secret, but I think
Non
you'll
mais
love it.
frérot.
It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
C'est un gâteau? Oh putain, le paragraphe. Écoutez, je vais aller au chalet et parler avec elle. Si elle est aussi terrible que vous le prétendez, alors peut-être qu'éventuellement, dans un futur proche, je la tuerai. Mais je... Ta gueule, toi. Mais je ne promets rien avant d'avoir eu l'occasion de rencontrer en personne. Très bien, je suis convaincu, finissons-en. Ouais, je vais avancer vers chalet en silence, on va bien voir, hein.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further.
Mhm.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Mais en fait, je sais pas à quel moment je suis censé avoir confiance déjà en toi. Tu m'as rien donné qui me donne le droit d'avoir confiance en toi. Mon son, il est bon, mais le son du jeu est d'accord qu'il est vachement bas. Attendez. Voilà, c'est un peu plus raisonnable. Ah. Alors disons, nous disions. Et je ferai tout ce qui est en son pouvoir pour que vous l'empêchiez d'adoucir. D'accord, mais je fais pas
We're
confiance
not
à
going to go
toi.
through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ah putain, c'est ma voix. Ah, le héros me parle directement à moi. Ah putain, d'accord. On est trois personnages. Le héros, le narrateur et le joueur. Oui, non mais je suis d'accord
Ignore
avec toi.
him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Uh-huh.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
On va descendre sans la lame.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Est-ce qu'elle entend le narrateur? C'est ma vraie question.
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Elle est attachée, tu m'as dit. Je prends aucun risque. Je viens prendre des nouvelles. Comment vous allez? Bonjour.
Don't be a stranger. It's been
m'ignorez
so
pas.
long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
Si là, il y a un énorme monstre.
You
D'accord.
walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Elle peut pas m'atteindre.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Ah ah. D'abord, on va vite fait discuter.
Okay.
Non mais t'inquiète, t'inquiète. J'ai une voix dans la tête qui me dit de vous tuer, mais je lui fais pas confiance. Mais je vous fais pas confiance à vous non plus techniquement. Parce que rien rien ne me prouve que vous n'êtes pas méchante dans le fond. Donc je veux avoir mon avis. Non mais ta gueule. Voilà. Ah, j'ai de vraies questions. C'est vrai que je ne sais rien de vous, mais on vous a enfermé ici pour une raison.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason.
Ah, donc il y avait une raison.
I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
Yes.
You have all the explanation you need, and you should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
Mais je suis pas censé croire quoi? Que là, elle est en train de me mentir et que du coup, elle sait pourquoi elle est enfermée? Qu'allez-vous faire si vous voulez sortir?
The princess hesitates before responding.
Ben frérot, ça fait longtemps qu'elle est dedans et c'est pas
She
confiance.
doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Ta gueule, c'est pas toi que je parle.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the
La
right
vérité, ou
answer?
attendez-vous simplement
Because
que
with
je
the
vous
dynamic we
donne
have
la
going
bonne
on here, I
réponse?
don't think the specifics of what I
Compte
do
tenu de notre
really matter.
dynamique, je doute que je ferai que ça ferait une quelconque importance.
It's not like you'd believe me.
C'est pas comme si vous alliez me croire. Ignore le narrateur. Réponds-moi sérieusement. Jure-moi, je m'assieds et j'attends. Vous n'avez pas à croire qu'on ait pu vous retenir prisonnière ainsi. Je vais vous sortir d'ici. Bon. Je vais vous sortir d'ici. Mais ne me le faites pas regretter.
You're only making this more difficult.
Laisse-moi faire. J'ai confiance en
Thank
moi.
you, and you won't. I promise.
Et puis je me souviens de ce qui se passe si j'essaie de la tuer.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing.
Oui, je suis d'accord avec le héros.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
Mhm.
They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Frérot, en gros, il y a une dague et une table.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Arrête de le contredire. Oui, bah oui, la dague.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
Yes. Oui, tu bouges pas.
You
J'espère bien
attempt
que tu
to
bouges
make
pas.
your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You try
Essaye.
the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Allez, un coup de pied.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Mais j'ai pas pris la dague.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Conseiller, tu m'as littéralement forcé à prendre la dague. Pour, si vous n'arrivez pas à lire, mettez pause sur les replays.
Easier for whom?
Plus simple pour qui? Bah oui, c'est
Easier
ça.
for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
Bah je suis juste enfermé et je vais mourir. Mais techniquement elle aussi elle est toujours enfermée. La mission, c'est pas un échec encore.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Oui.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
Mais paniquez pas. Vous avez survécu jusqu'à maintenant. Je vais survivre aussi, non? Dans
If
tous
I
les cas,
could
je vous
just get
mangerai.
out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth.
Fermez les yeux, les enfants.
Tearing through her limb with
De toute façon, elle est marquée
the
contenu
determination of
mature.
a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Je suis toujours d'accord avec le héros. Sauvez la princesse.
Fine.
Ça y est, c'est résolu.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
Avant, on aurait pu couper après, ça aurait minimisé les dégâts.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
J'avoue que ça c'est suspect, le fait qu'elle ait pas crié et qu'elle s'est bouffé le bras.
No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Mon curseur il a changé. Vu que j'ai l'épée en main, il a l'épée maintenant.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Ouais, j'ai pas d'autre choix, bon d'accord.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No.
Il a dit je ne peux pas la laisser s'échapper.
Let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward
Ouais, je sais
and
quoi cette mine.
raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that.
Je suis la voix du héros. On parie.
What are you doing?
Roxy, 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 Roxy. Avertir.
Stop that.
Arrêtez ça tout de suite.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Mais je sais, mais je contrôle pas mon corps.
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Roxy, 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 Roxy,
The
résister.
blade. Move the blade.
Alicia qui fait, alors comme ça on doit tuer la princesse. C'est un peu dark, mais je suis là pour le fun.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
Alors je bouge pas, elle peut faire ce qu'elle veut.
Both know this isn't you.
Mais non, je suis pas comme ça, c'est pas moi.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm
J'essaie de te
sorry.
résister.
I'll try to be quick.
Tu fais bien.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Là au moins elle s'excuse. Elle a plus de réaction à me tuer en moi qu'en arrachant son propre bras. D'ailleurs, si elle peut baisser son bras, ça m'arrangerait.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone.
Là, par vos actes à tous les deux, donc on est bien deux personnes.
Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
Moi, j'ai perdu une partie de mes poumons, apparemment, et de mon foie, mais elle a jamais tapé au bon endroit.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks.
Mais elle pleure pour ma mort. C'est une bonne personne, techniquement.
It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
La demoiselle, chapitre 2.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oui, ça on sait. Oui, j'ai une horrible impression de
A
déjà vu.
terrible sense of déjà vu. No,
Oh, c'est
you don't
impossible.
have that.
Déjà
This is
vu.
the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Attends, est-ce que du coup, le fait que j'ai tenté de la sauver, ça rajoute, on va dire, mon précédent personnage en mode avec les choix que lui il a fait? Oui, nos décisions ne lui ont pas plu la dernière fois. Si nous espérons libérer notre bien-aimé, nous devrons faire preuve de la plus grande discrétion.
Our
De discrétion.
beloved.
Notre bien-aimé.
Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess.
10 secondes de souffle est déjà tombé à l'eau.
Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love. and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
À nous quatre. Moi, le héros, les prix. Le narrateur, il compte pas.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Oh, il me casse déjà les couilles, les prix. Je suis désolé d'avoir joué ce personnage. On va pas faire de remarques, on va y aller.
A warning before you go any further.
Je tiens à prévenir, oui, je sais.
She will cheat.
Mentir, tricher.
She will do. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
Misérable menteur. Mais il va se calmer,
I
Sanji?
think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
Oui, non, mais j'ai compris.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Ah, j'ai même plus de choix, quoi. Les deux, ils ont trop parlé, ça m'a enlevé mes choix.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine
chalet en bois, il est en pierre maintenant.
A prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Je vais m'approcher juste du miroir.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
Essuyez.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago.
Y a pas de
Now
miroir.
it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
D'accord, il n'y a plus de miroir. On va dire d'accord. Prends la lame.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword. That way she'll know we can defend her from her enemies. Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge, and hopefully it doesn't get turned on us. Again.
Je vais tenter de la sauver quoi qu'il arrive. On va faire une partie full, on la sauve, et on refera une partie une prochaine fois où full on la tue. On verra bien.
There's no use arguing over motivations right now. It's good that you took the blade. You'll need it to do your job. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight.
La maison est plus luxueuse que mon appart. Enfin, la prison est plus luxueuse que mon appart.
But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's me again.
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
Et
I've
le
held
héros?
my tongue
Merci.
till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation.
J'invite suivre le narrateur.
You walk down the stairs and lock
Ah,
eyes
il y a un
with
tapis
the
maintenant.
princess. There's
Elle
a
a une
heavy chain around her
Et une
wrist,
belle fenêtre.
binding her to the far wall.
La paroi du fond, un tour sans poignée, ouais, comme d'hab.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
Arrête de parler comme ça, par pitié.
You know she can't hear you, right?
D'accord, donc au moins le narrateur a prouvé que le narrateur, la voix du héros et les prix ne sont pas entendus. Il n'y a que moi qui l'ai.
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Tiens, mais j'ai l'impression qu'il est à côté de moi comme dans comme Johnny dans Cyberpunk.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
Non, pourrait-elle la rater? Le narrateur, il en a plein le
It's
cul.
you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Vous revoir. Let's go, elle sait que j'existe.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
Elle a surtout dit qu'elle nous connaissait.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
Ah, le narrateur sait qu'il y a un problème. Enfin, le narrateur se rend bien compte qu'on a déjà vécu ce moment.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Ville maintenant, putain, mais ta gueule.
Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset.
C'est vrai.
Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Mais qu'est-ce qui s'est passé après ma mort?
You died, and now we're talking.
Pas du tout. Vous êtes mort et maintenant on est en train de discuter. Mhm. Oh, venez, on lui raconte ce qui se passe dans ma tête.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
Oui, le fait que je t'ai désobéi l'un nombre incalculable de fois durant la première aventure.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
Oh, elle est adorable. Elle va se recouper le bras.
She took that in stride, to a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
Bah, elle s'en fout, elle m'a tué, je lui fais aucun dégât à part lui couper la main.
That's because she's perfect.
Mais ta gueule,
Do you
toi.
think she has someone like
J'ai l'impression
him
de devenir
to
fou
turn
IRL,
out
c'est
to?
horrible.
She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
Bah, la preuve que t'es pas unique, vu qu'on t'a connu dans notre vie et que t'es un autre narrateur.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Ouais. Merde! Putain! Et y a personne qui vient me le dire, c'est ça le pire. Le fait qu'en fait vous voyez pas ces textes depuis tout à l'heure. Attendez, je vais mettre comme ça. Comme ça je ne gêne personne, ni le narrateur, ni vous. Du coup elle dit, je ne sais pas, est-ce que je suis censé avoir détruit le monde, cela suffirait-il à votre bonheur? De toute façon vous savez que mes lives sont chaotiques. Mais je veux pas que vous... Mais... En vrai dans la tête il y a une petite balance comme ça. Avec d'un côté le narrateur, de l'autre côté la princesse. Et en fonction de chez qui ça pince, c'est le choix que je vais faire. Là, la princesse, elle va se faire tuer à petit feu.
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
C'est vrai qu'elle a avoué. Connard de base. Ouais, que le monde soit détruit ou pas, je m'en bats les couilles. Ok. Donc soit il n'y a pas de fin du monde, soit je m'en bats la race, soit il y a une fin du monde. Non, je souhaite pas... non, je ne souhaite pas la fin du monde.
Then I didn't end the world.
Mais tu peux pas juste inventer la phrase. Réponds-moi sérieusement. Bordel de merde. Mais je vais te buter. Chacune de tes nouvelles phrases, je vais te buter.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself.
Mais par pitié, il est pris, ta gueule. Laisse le héros parler.
Not so sure.
Merci. Non, on va voir ce qu'elle va répondre.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
C'est vous qui avez pris la dague et qui a dit « Je n'ai rien dit. Moi, j'ai tenté de vous sauver la vie. Vous m'avez assassiné.
Did we? »
Et c'est ce qu'on voulait... Non.
We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically
Non,
telling
le
her to
narrateur,
kill
pas les
us.
forces du mal.
She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
J'ai envie de crever.
She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
C'est les prix, t'inquiète. C'est normal chez lui.
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done. What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
Non, t'inquiète. Bah, je suis... C'est fou comme je réfléchis exactement comme le héros à l'heure actuelle.
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
Non, la dernière fois, elle s'est rongé le bras elle-même. Et c'est moi qui ai donné le coup de grâce pour finir de lui couper le bras. Mais on n'a jamais décidé de comment la libérer la dernière fois.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
J'ai mon esprit qui se dédouble IRL. Je... En Loxy. Frérot, premier degré, elle me fait peur, en Loxy.
Blade in hand, you run the princess down. Wait, no! You barbarian, what do you think you're doing?
Frérot, elle me fait
You
peur.
ignore the pleas of the foolish little voice and press on. The princess's eyes grow wide with terror as you approach, but she does absolutely nothing to stop you. Your blade pierces her heart, and she collapses pathetically to...
I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
Elle me fait peur.
No, my love, you did nothing wrong. I'm sorry, not you.
I'm going to die now. I think that's what you want.
And just like that, she's dead. And the world is saved. Thank you for seeing this through. I know it must have been difficult.
Elle est innocente. Mais putain. Même le jeu, il m'insulte.
I feel sick.
Moi aussi.
Sick? You took part in the murder of the fairest creature that's ever lived. And you merely feel sick? I, for one, am absolutely distraught. Grief-stricken. You'll get over it. You just saved everyone. Get over it? You smarmy ass. There's nothing in the world worth getting over it for. We might as well just end it all. You raise the blade, aiming the point directly towards your heart. Excuse me? No, you absolutely do not do that. Yeah, let's not make any rash decisions. We should give ourselves a minute, take a deep breath, and... Rash. The only rash decision we've made was running our cursed blade through her heart. This is far from rash. This is measured. This is the only thing left for us to do now that she's gone.
Oh, putain, j'ai mon sens. On la tue et on ne se tue pas.
Exactly. You're not doing this. All of you may have previously thought that my passions were too great to stifle, but those were merely passions of joy. My passions of sorrow run deeper than the ocean itself, and you'll find that they are far more I don't believe this. What? What don't you believe? You plunge the blade into your own heart and collapse to the floor. You can't be serious. Why are you helping him? I'm not. He just made it happen. I'm sorry.
Oui,
That's
excuse-toi.
right. You're all sorry. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Ça y est, je suis mort. Les pleurer. Est-ce que du coup on a toujours 3 voix, mais les prix est
You're on
venu
a
lui pleurer?
path in the woods. You horrid monster. Do you think just because we've returned to the woods you've earned my forgiveness? Our beloved had best be alive and well when we return to the cabin, or you'll never know the end of my wrath. She won't be alive and well when we return to that cabin, because she's dead. We killed
Oh,
her.
on a l'insensible maintenant chez nous.
You killed her, and so I killed you.
Prends le mot escoffier dans ma
And
vie.
you clearly didn't do a good enough job. Oh, and I'm still here too.
Ah super, on a le héros.
If you lot get to be blessed with seemingly eternal life, that must mean she's still there, waiting for us to throw ourselves at her feet in remorse.
I doubt it. I think I'm better at killing than you are.
Oh, j'aime pas l'insensible.
So
Oh, je suis
you've been
désolé de
here
mon choix.
before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2? It's our 3rd. What gave it away? Your open discussions. I couldn't care less what he knows. Every second we stand around arguing in the woods is a second that I'm anxiously worrying about her. Take us to the cabin and take us there now. With each passing moment, our relationship may be damaged even further, though I fear the rift between us may already be permanent. And if it is permanent, then what? You'll kill us again? Oh, you just wait and see. My vengeance will echo the depths of my bereavement. Don't provoke him. I'd prefer if we didn't die again. I'm not fond of dying.
On est crevé une 3e fois techniquement. Ça fait déjà 2 fois qu'on est mort. Une fois tué par la princesse, une fois tué par les prix.
Why not? You've already done it twice. It was unpleasant.
C'est vrai.
It was only unpleasant because you think it's supposed to be unpleasant. I'll make you feel what I feel if it's the last thing I do. And mark my words, you won't. Oh, how exciting. I'd love to see you try.
Oh putain, on a un assassin à la tête maintenant.
Can I? Well, I'm not just going to try. I'm going to actually do it. I'm looking forward to it. Good. I am... Can I talk now? Yes, I can. Great.
Merci. Oh, merci le
Now, if you're
narrateur.
listening, let me remind you that if you're here in the woods, it means that the princess is not dead, and that her very existence currently poses a direct threat to the entire world.
Oui, je sais.
If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time. Wait, but if her influence is spreading, that means there's hope. That means our beloved is waiting up there for us, ready to make amends.
Oui, mais le décor a changé parce qu'on l'a tuée cette fois-ci. La fois précédente, elle n'était pas morte.
Yes, I already told you that she's alive. Don't mind him. I don't think he's doing too well. I'm doing better than any of you. I'm doing great. She's alive. Influence doesn't require life. But if things restarted, why wouldn't she be alive? Who said they restarted? All they've done is changed. I shan't listen to the vile mutterings of you serpents. Onward! Our living, breathing princess awaits us. She'll find a way out eventually and the world will still end. The only way this resolves is if you find her and slay her before that happens. Again he makes her out to be a monster. I'm tired of all this slander. She's never hurt anyone in her life except for us, and that was our fault. We don't know that. She could have done all sorts of things we weren't around to see. Turn around and leave, go to the cabin. I'm fine with either. So long as we don't just do the same thing again. That would be boring.
Parce qu'il doit arriver, toutes les réponses nous attendent visiblement à l'intérieur du chalet. Autant voir où ça nous mène.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. You've already managed to slay her once, just don't muck it up this time, all right? Oh, we'll muck it up all right. We'll get our happy ending, even if it damns each and every person who's ever lived. Whatever you do, don't let him influence a single decision. He's clearly lost it. I hate that I'm agreeing with him on anything, but I really don't like being at the whims of someone so unstable. It's stressful. Yes, having all those feelings isn't very productive, is it? But we're just passengers here. Why stress over something you can't control? You're saying that like stress is just something you can turn off. It is. It's easy. Whatever happens, happens. Are you even alive? What's the point of doing anything if you're not going to feel a single emotion? I don't know. I just exist. And that's fine with me.
Ça aimé l'insensible. Par contre les prix je le supporte toujours pas et c'est de pire en pire.
This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
Ah, chalet. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a de
The
nouveau?
interior of the cabin feels dry and brittle. Ancient dust-covered wooden beams hold up a crumbling ceiling like mummified ribs, each elegantly carved detail of the stately building preserved in an extended stasis. Everything here has been kept safe and dry and lifeless.
Il y a clairement un fantôme. Mais d'accord. J'espère que vous voyez à côté de ma cave. Là, il y a clairement un fantôme.
But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the dusty wood of the far wall. Is that her? Our beloved. So she does live.
Ouais, clairement pas envie.
She doesn't look very alive to me. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room.
Ah oui, il y a une porte.
The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door, it's just that damn mirror again. Ah yes, the mirror. So we can see the monster we've become. If it even lets us look before it vanishes. The mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying? There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade. Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it. Perhaps it's gone because an oh-so-deserved guilt has started to worm its way into each and every one of you. Perhaps all of you do feel just as bad as I about what we've done. I suppose it doesn't
Je
matter
passe
why
les
the
phrases de
blade is
l'écrire.
gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement? You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's still so hazy. We should try and clean it off. Yes, trying to touch it does seem to be the magic spell to get it out of our way.
J'ai pas le
It's
choix.
time for all of you to see what we've become. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down. So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway. I'm much more interested in seeing other things. I see. We are too hideous for even a mirror to behold. No way left to go but down.
C'est parti.
The door to the basement creaks open.
Oh putain, elle est
revealing an
effrayante.
antique staircase lit by weak torchlight. The air here is so stale it practically stands still, as if the very molecules of this place have been fossilized,
trapped for eons until your arrival. Even the blaze of the torches can't penetrate the odorless air, as if they'd run out of fuel to burn ages ago, their light still flickering more out of habit than from adhering to a physical reality. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadow. There she is again.
Là, voilà.
My love. She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner.
Il faut
You
qu'on
receive
parle.
no response. Do you think she's upset with us? Don't like being here unarmed after what happened last time. I feel so exposed.
Of course she's livid, and with good reason.
You aren't helping. Are you scared of a little ghost? What's she going to do? Look at us until we feel bad? She can look all she wants. It won't do anything.
Attendez, est-ce que je vais
As
être
you
hanté
descend
par...
the
Oh,
final
elle est
step,
morte.
the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain.
Ils ont pas eu trop longtemps et elle est morte.
This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom. See? She's dead.
No! What foul trickery is this? How can this be? We just saw her alive and well a moment ago.
Whatever we saw was a ghost. I thought we were all on the same page. Do try to keep up. Your thoughts are interrupted by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock. You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs, clutching a brightly burning torch. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead. She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before?
J'adore l'insensible. Meilleur perso.
Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even. Yeah, dead or
Comment on
not,
tue un
what we're
fantôme?
supposed to do about her? Slaying, or destroying, if we want to be a little more death-neutral, seems off the table.
We make amends. She obviously still holds us in her heart. She's bearing a torch for us and everything.
But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
You came back. I missed you.
That angelic voice. I missed you too, my beloved.
You sure snapped back to your old self quick.
Yes, seeing her dazzling countenance again has reignited
Jeter la
the
torche à la
warmth
gueule.
in my heart.
Je vous le dis, elle va me la jeter à la
I
gueule.
found it in me to forgive the sins this body has committed. We can have our perfect romance after all.
This is a bad place. We're supposed to be together, but it keeps making us hurt each other.
Ah, je suis bien d'accord.
The torch falls from the princess's hand and bounces down the stairs.
It'll
Sure.
be so much better when it's gone.
The skeletal wood of the basement, perfectly dry after uncountable years of desiccation, immediately catches fire.
She's trying to kill us.
Mhm.
A misplaced escalation of her passions, but clearly she still cares for us. I say we burn with her.
Je ne savais pas, vous m'avez donné ma terre à réfléchir. Tout sera bientôt terminé. Oui, vous voyez tout. Ce sera bien comme ça. Oh putain, elle va me buter.
She's holding a grudge. She wouldn't. She's perfect.
Tu veux parier?
The fire grows quickly, devouring the basement, dancing up the walls and painting every surface with strokes of flame. You're choked by smoke, and the air around you grows uncomfortable. We've never burned to death before. I wonder how it's going to feel.
Putain, on a été poignardé 2 fois.
Bad. I bet it'll feel really, really bad. Yes, it will be terrible, so you'd better come up with something to do and fast. Your personal safety is far from the only thing she's threatening right now. I think a bit of fiery passion is good for the world. You're just trying to spoil her fun. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm trying to prevent oblivion.
On a le narrateur qui essaie d'éviter l'Apocalypse et la voix du héros qui essaie d'éviter notre mort. Sauf que les deux autres ne nous aident pas. Putain, je vais finir brûlé vif. Ok, t'es folle.
She's right about the last part. Burning doesn't hurt forever. The heat grows in intensity as the flames draw ever nearer. You can practically feel your skin sizzling already. If you're going to try and stop her from killing you and destroying the whole world, you'd better do something. I wonder if we look good right now. Fire makes a lot of things look good. I can only imagine how dazzling our eyes are in the dancing flames. I don't want to burn to death. We don't have to, right? As you rush up the stairs, the entire cabin erupts into a
Si
raging
l'arrière est
inferno.
inflammé, il est hors de question que je fasse demi-tour pour aller chercher la lame.
You ignore the princess, throwing yourself headlong against the door, bashing at it with your clenched fists in a vain attempt at freedom. It's no use. You're stuck here. Your skin starts to bubble. As layers of you peel away into raw, seeping burns, you feel a hand on yours. You turn to see the princess, face bright and smile wide with manic affection. She clutches you close to her chest, watching with loving eyes as the flames eat you away, bit by bit. The pain is unbearable at first. Every inch of you screams as your flesh is stripped away, your muscles stiffening as they're cooked, your blood boiling in your veins. But it isn't long before the flames take your nerves, and with them, your ability to feel much of anything. See? That wasn't so bad. It was so bad. But somehow, the nothing is so much worse.
Cette image est horrible.
You'll get used to it. There are still the feelings of the heart. Those never go away. Oh, they always do in the end. You just haven't experienced enough. Eventually you'll want them to stop too. You'll make them stop. Trust me. The princess's smile never fades. Her skin peels away, and then her muscle, until all you can see is her charring skull, locked in an eternal grin. It's very romantic, really. We got our happy ending after all. We can die happy.
Oh, cette image horrible.
She's gone.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? He is. Does that mean the world ended? He was never going to outlast us.
A villain vanquished.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
Tu vois autre chose à faire?
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
Pour une fois, je suis d'accord, il est insensible.
You're right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing.
I can't believe she was taken away from us. The nerve.
Don't bother looking for her. I'm sure it's just a waste of time. I'm begging you,
Merci.
don't do this. It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
C'est nous. Vous êtes au chalet. C'est pas des flammes, c'est des bras.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
J'aime bien cette expression. Même si c'est horrible. Par contre, putain, c'est les mecs qui contrôlent ses mouvements et tout, c'est effrayant.
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is passion betrayed, but even in the end, her love never faded. She will make for a bright heart. Do not mourn her, for she has finally found her light. How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Je sais pas, parce que c'est l'image clairement de ce qui pourrait s'apparenter à la fin du monde.
You are the only thing I have ever known.
La voix dans ma tête, vous la connaissez
The
pas.
space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us. I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt. I know only that they are. She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Donc c'est pas techniquement la princesse, c'est une autre entité.
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Ça m'aide à comprendre.
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
Donc l'assassin, le héros et les prix. Je les verrai en ce sens.
Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Elle vient de me dire de continuer le jeu.
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die. Everything, until we meet again. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold. How can I know?
Salut la
I am
Syndrome,
flickers in
bienvenue.
something sprawling and unilluminated.
On est sur Slay the Princess, une des fins en tout cas. Oui. Ben, d'accord.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
D'accord.
You won't.
C'était une des fins, du coup.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the
Il a l'air bien
end
ce
of
jeu.
the world.
Tu sais, tu repars comme si le jeu il recommençait vraiment, même pour toi, même si ta vie elle avait jamais existé jusqu'à maintenant. Non, on fait les choses bien. C'est un peu immoral, vous
Does
trouvez
it?
pas?
Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress?
Non, c'est pas ce que je
If
voulais dire.
anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Oh, mais tiens, il est en train de m'insulter en me parlant de politique. Je rêve. Ah d'accord, merci de me dire ce que je dois faire.
It's all part of the job.
Je vais tenter de la tuer en boucle.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. We're not going to go through. Ignore him.
Oui.
He doesn't. The interior of the cabin is
On va
almost
essayer de la tuer
entirely
froidement
bare.
sans rien dire
The
jusqu'au bout.
air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table, the blade is your implement.
Prendre la lame.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the...
On ne dira jamais rien à la princesse. On descend, on la tue. On
The
se
door to the
réincarne, on descend,
basement
on la tue.
creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Pas même voix.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
C'est parce que j'ai pris Ada qu'elle est déjà méchante.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed.
Tu me le mets,
If
Bartholdi.
you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation.
Elle a peur.
You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
On la dague, fais un petit.
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Ah, bien sûr que non, c'était beaucoup trop facile.
It's over. Don't get all worked up.
Alors tu m'expliques pourquoi le monde s'est pas encore rembobiné?
We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse?
I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
Oui. On fait full game, on fait confiance au narrateur et on la tue en boucle.
Yes, Exactly. It's over.
Elle va me sauter dans le dos.
With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible?
Parce que c'est un crime abominable, mais on va le faire en
You
boucle.
did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago. What happened?
Déjà?
Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy. I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind.
Ouais, je sais ce
This is what's
qui...
best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst.
Mhm.
Hey, we're not just gonna stay here forever, right? I do, but you're probably not going to like it.
Ah, putain, je dois me suicider.
The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right.
Uh-huh.
It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place, do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
Oh, putain. Pourquoi j'ai accepté? Si on se servait de la lame, qui nous a dit que ça ne signerait pas notre arrêt de mort définitive? On passerait l'arme à gauche, non? Sinon, c'est deux raisons qui me font bouger directement.
What a relief. I suppose we've got all the time in the world for you to change your mind. More happy time passes. Though the word, please shake yourself out of it. We have the little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into...
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Mhm.
Good, because I have an idea. The blade. I can hear... He's right. Do you hear? Do you not? Don't you?
Bon, c'est parti, on va
Thank
se
you.
regarder.
I made this happy little place for you. Fine. Whatever. For the first time, the princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
On aurait pu prendre le pouls du squelette au cas où. Oh
You're
non.
on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path, you're here to slay.
Attendez, je veux savoir qui est avec moi.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I.
C'est vrai.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It
Ah
wasn't
putain,
very
on a,
hard to
oh, on
do
a
it last
l'insensible
time.
instantanément, d'accord.
We'll just do it again.
C'est l'insensible qu'on vient de débloquer.
Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Ok, vu qu'on a l'insensible, c'est bon, on peut... On sera pas dérangé, on peut la tuer.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for eternity. So we slew ourselves too. Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do that. Believe it or not, I care about you. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do
Il
you
a pas
mean?
tort.
Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world outside the cabin disappeared, we died, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? It doesn't matter, because we didn't fail to slay her. And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, maybe she's not the only one around here in need of slaying. Just stay focused, will you? Just be quick about it.
La dernière fois que je l'ai poignardé en plein cœur, elle est morte. Comment pourrait-elle être capable de causer la fin du monde?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcome.
Ouais, c'est pas ce que j'ai dit.
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps.
Tu viens
It's just the
d'inventer
way-
tout ça.
Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course we're special. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. This is boring. He's clearly not interested in talking. So let's just do as he says. And maybe...
Bon,
Great.
il veut pas parler, on va y
Now, if you
aller.
don't mind,
On est allons. Adieu. C'est vrai qu'on
Oh,
peut
warning.
abandonner la mission dès le début.
before you go any further. She will...
Le
The
miroir.
interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time.
Ouais.
Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already. That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. Who cares if there's a mirror? Let's just go into the basement and find her body so we can be done with this.
Bon.
But it does matter. Don't you care if we're being lied to? If he's willing to lie about something as innocuous as a mirror, what else is he hiding from us? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying.
On prend la lame.
You take the
Si elle a la
blade
lame,
from
ça
the
veut dire qu'elle
table.
est pas morte.
It would be
Car
difficult to
sinon,
slay
la
the
lame sera
princess
encore
and
à
save
elle.
the world without a weapon.
N'enlevons pas le fait que on est en mode
The door
assassin.
to the basement groans open. The room below is... Nobody's here. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body, lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought,
Tiens.
the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here?
Même le narrateur, il est paumé dans ce qui est en train de se passer.
Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying.
Oh,
What's a
waouh,
ghost supposed to do
c'est
to
tout à
us?
fait terrifiant. L'insensible me fait penser, il y a un animé sur Crunchyroll qui est apparu il y a pas très longtemps, où c'est un mec, son seul but c'est de se suicider, mais il s'est fait isekai au moment où il voulait mettre fin à ses jours. Du coup, il est dégoûté. Et il est à peu près comme ça niveau sentiment. En mode, oh, waouh, c'est tout à fait terrifiant.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
Ouais.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you.
Elle va m'étrangler.
Her
Ah,
touch
non, elle est là.
is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again, if we wanted to.
J'ai pas envie de la tuer, j'ai envie de voir ce qui va se passer, on va vouloir se venger.
I see you brought that annoying knife again. So, are you waiting for a chance to use it? Or are you here for something else?
Yes, obviously things are strange right now. I think it's safe to say that you've seen something you shouldn't have seen. Whatever worlds you've hopped between, whatever versions of me you've met, none of that matters now. There's no changing what's already happened. But you have a job to finish. Finish how? We already did what you told us. And now she's a ghost. You haven't tried slaying her yet this time, though, have you? And then what? And then you'll have saved the world. I think he's asking about what happens after we save the world. If that's even still an option. What do you mean, after? You already know what we mean, don't you? So why don't you go ahead and tell us? You're going to try and lock us away in a timeless void again? Because I didn't much care for that.
Un truc qu'il a pas aimé.
I'm not going to lock you anywhere. What an interesting choice of emphasis.
How should I know? Why does anyone come back? Maybe I have unfinished business with you. Or maybe you have unfinished business with me. All I know is there's a hole in my chest. Not the big
Merde,
obvious
vous
one
voyez pas la
that you
dernière
put
phrase.
there. There's something older and deeper.
Il y a un trou béant dans mon cœur et je ne parle... Enfin, il y a un vide dans mon cœur et je ne parle pas du trou béant que vous y avez laissé. Il s'agit d'une blessure plus profonde, plus ancienne.
A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Un rappel incessant, je suis pas à ma place ici.
Home.
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know it
J'ignore
isn't
trop mon
here.
foyer, je sais juste
But I can feel it
que ce n'est
calling
pas
to me
ici.
from someplace far away.
Mais je sens un tiraillement en moi comme s'il m'appelait depuis un lieu très lointain.
Wherever I'm supposed to be, it's out there.
Quelle que soit ma place, elle se trouve ailleurs.
How specific.
C'est très précis.
And how convenient for her. You see what she's doing, right?
Ta gueule, je sais de quoi elle parle.
No, those bones are just a body. They aren't me. Bury them. Smash them. It won't do it, but you can help me. This place won't let me leave. At least, not alone. I've tried. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here.
Donc ouais, on est bloqués tous les deux ici,
Maybe
quoi
we
qu'il
should
arrive.
just leave. If she can't get out on her own, then why do we have to do anything? We could probably walk out right now and everything will be fine.
Oui, mais elle sera
Hasn't
bloquée
got
là.
out and can't get out are two very different things. It'd be dull anyway. It's more interesting if we make a choice.
But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought?
Ouais. Ah putain, il a levé un
We
beau
could
point.
finally bring her face to face
Est-ce
with
qu'elle serait
him.
capable de voir l'insensible et la voix du héros et le narrateur si elle me possédait?
Say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
Oh putain, c'était des génies les deux. J'y avais pas pensé.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
if I'm able to.
Je
But
peux, mais
for all we
non,
know,
ça va rien.
that's not how it
Si ça
works.
se trouve, ça ne marche pas comme ça,
Maybe
si
I'll wind up
je me
stuck
retrouve
with you
peut-être
for a
coincé. Ah, vous pendant très 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 longtemps.
long.
Don't much like the sound of that. It's crowded enough in here as is.
Ouais, nous sommes très nombreux, mais la
It could
question
be
est
the best
tentadon.
way to trap her for good. Doesn't seem like it would be very easy to end the world from inside someone else's body. That is a very dangerous train of thought.
Hmm.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
Ok, s'approche.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
Ah, elle me remercie.
What are you
Avant de me
doing?
posséder.
Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
Ah, j'aime pas cette tête.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over? I'm
Ah,
afraid it's too late to stop now.
qu'est-ce
The
qu'elle fait? Elle
numbness
joue à
gives
mes
way
cotes ou
to
quoi?
a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Come on, you. You've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now, but we still have to get out of here.
Ouais, pas au milieu maintenant.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
Ah putain, elle entend! Yes! Le plan a marché! On peut les faire se confronter.
So, it doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
L'insensible est d'une intelligence incroyable. C'est le seul qui a des raisonnements logiques.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor. Are they also supposed to be you?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass, I'm...
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
I'm... a voice? I'm me, is what I am.
D'accord, donc elle les voit comme des miroirs.
Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
Ok, oh putain, j'ai la femme maintenant dans ma tête.
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
Vous êtes chaque bout d'un miroir, les gars. Et tous ces petits bouts réunis, ça forme, ben, moi.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you either?
No, I'm not talking
Mm.
about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
So, you're the one who pulled the strings and made me
Oh
dead.
putain.
I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
Non, pris même insulte.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
Mais fermez-la, bordel. J'avais déjà 3 voix, il en faut maintenant une
And
quatrième.
setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
You don't have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
It's okay. We're almost out of here. Just take it one step at a time, and everything will be fine.
Everything won't be fine if you listen to her.
C'est bien parce qu'il ne lit pas toute la phrase en anglais.
One way or another, this is all going to end. Wouldn't it be nice if he ends with it?
Wouldn't that be nice? There's only one way to find out.
C'est bien parce que l'insensible est extrêmement d'accord avec elle, quoi qu'il arrive. Les deux sont pareils. Bon, on va quitter le sous-sol. On va pas la tuer alors qu'elle est dans mon corps.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
Parce que selon lui, c'est la fin du monde.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do. Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world.
C'est vrai.
Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective.
Eh bien,
Where does
j'imagine
the
que
world
c'est avant
end
tout une
and
question de
something
point de
else
vue.
begin? Does the
On se
destruction
termine
of
ce
one
monde et où
open
commence
a
un
door to
autre.
another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
Maybe the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
Croyez-moi que s'il veut faire quelque chose de mal, il peut le faire.
Not at all. I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able.
En aucun cas, je tiens à vous assurer que je vous hais de tout mon être et que cet état de fait n'est pas près de
It's
changer.
just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate. And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
J'aime bien parce que à des moments je dis ouais on va faire ça, on va faire que la tuer toute une manche et au final je n'ai pas tenté de la tuer la deuxième fois parce qu'on a fini par en parler et me raisonner. Ah oui, c'est péniblement.
You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
We're so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we get out of here, I won't even care that you murdered me anymore.
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle, but you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will. Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling. Let's see what happens.
Ouvrir la porte.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. Collapse to the ground, you and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort.
Ah bon, je vois un truc.
Yes?
Ah putain, il y a le lien. Elle a détruit le monde. Encore. Quoi que je fasse, elle détruit le monde de toute façon. Oui.
Nothing. He's gone, and so is everything else.
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose. But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world? We're still here. Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or have we never been part of the world?
Okay, I've heard enough from these two. Let's see if I can pop out. I'm out. You actually freed me, didn't you? I'm outside. Thanks for giving me a second chance, Kill.
Don't mention it.
Il n'y a pas de quoi.
I think this is where I'm meant to be.
Ah, il va rejoindre le... Let's go. Elle rejoint l'entité. On a retrouvé un morceau. Donc la théorie était bonne. Vous n'avez pas eu l'occasion de répondre et vous l'auriez jamais. Il est temps de partir, la mémoire vous revient.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
T'inquiète.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Tout va s'arrêter pour vous, mais tout recommencera. N'ayez pas peur. Au moins la sensible il comprend.
I don't like that silence.
Est-ce que j'évolue? Ce serait intéressant de savoir. Oh, elle a changé de tête.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Je me suis sorti de l'écran carrément. Plus rien à foutre.
sorry. Words are
Tu m'as exprimé avec
difficult
simplement
for
une trace jamais
I
vraiment
never
la
fully
toile que je
leave what I
souhaiterais
wish to
transmettre.
say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not
J'ai pas
ask
dit
me.
ça,
The
c'est juste que
vessels
je
you
galère à
choose
comprendre.
to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
Connard.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
C'est vrai.
This one is vaporous. She is a dream of a life she could never have, but that longing has given her so much capacity for kindness. She will make for a yearning heart. Do not mourn her. She will finally be able to hold what she never knew.
Très bien, on va sauter les questions.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Et c'est reparti pour un tour. Comme un 40. Le héros et la princesse.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the bed, you're here to slay her. Unfortunately, you're the only one who can.
Ok, dans ta logique, je peux suivre ça.
That's the spirit.
À la bonne heure.
You make your
No,
way
je
up the
plaisante.
short path to the cabin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. She will. We're not going to ignore him.
Bon, pour info, je vais refaire la première scène du début du live. C'est à pas prendre la dague, descendre, et après récupérer la dague et lui trancher le
The
bras et la faire me
interior of
poignarder.
the cabin is
Et à
almost
partir de là, je la
entirely
sauverai.
bare. The air is stale and musty. The blade is.
Et on descend.
Her
Je
voice
suis
Hello.
ignoré.
Is someone there?
is.
Ok, là, ça va normal.
Don't let it.
Ah oui.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes. I am begging you.
Okay.
Il fait genre, j'ai besoin d'être sûr.
Oh,
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before.
you can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Ouais, bon.
Is
Je vais vous appeler princesse.
you're
On va
only
essayer
making
de
Thank
redonner,
you.
de redonner vie à
you're
l'esprit.
making a huge no.
Ta
You're doing
gueule.
the right thing.
Oui, le héros a raison.
Walk up to the chains binding. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make someone else. You try the door. You shout. You're here to.
Et on redescend.
You make your way easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam.
There's a slight panic.
If I could just get out of
She barely hesitates before
Et
raising
c'est parti
her
pour
arm
cette
to her
scène, c'est la
mouth,
pire
her
scène
teeth
de tout ce qu'on a vécu
tearing
jusqu'à
through her
maintenant.
limb as she rips her flesh from. It's the blade from. Or we could. You won't.
M'excuserai, je passe rapidement.
Fine. Against you, you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. No, we won't have any of that. As the princess. Wait, what?
Là, on l'avertit, comme ça elle esquive l'attaque. On va... Je peux plus résister, il a niqué mon choix, ce con. Oh la pute. Mais laisse-moi résister.
Thank you.
There's no getting through to you right now, is there?
She pounces on you, but you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth. You collapse to the floor.
Elle est en train de
Your body
déchiqueter comme une bête
unresponsive as
féroce.
your blood pools on the ground beneath you. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict, it can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Je suis mort. Oh la sorcière. Oh bordel, ça va être horrible. En fait, je voulais revivre cette scène pour après que les prix reviennent et qu'on refasse le truc en boucle. Du coup, on a ramené à la ville insensible, j'imagine.
If you don't, it will be the end. Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
Allez, c'est parti.
A warning before you go any further. She will... Don't worry. You can trust us to get the job done.
Un tuniste, ça veut dire qu'il sera toujours rangé du côté où on a plus de chances de survie.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Oh là là, on va bien
Take
voir.
the blade from the shelf. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it.
That's not actually a bad idea.
The door to the basement creaks open,
Qu'est-ce que va être cette
revealing a
créature, cette fois-ci?
staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The weak starlight from the cabin,
Oui, bon,
the air
l'escalier est
smells
dégueulasse.
of dirt and copper. It's
Le
thick
cuivre
and
flotte dans l'air,
wet, as if
l'atmosphère
your
est
lungs
dense
are
et
being
humide.
Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't
Probablement pas.
bite. I
Sure.
recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember
Le chemin
what
interdit
you've
de faire
done.
2 fois le même choix.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation.
Ouais, la lame dans le dos.
Can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to... Look, do you want to hear... You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss.
Opportuniste, j'adore l'opportuniste. Mais...
Thank you.
Oh merde.
You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are. One hand
voilà.
tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
Je vais pas vous
Made a
tuer.
comment back in the woods about having been here before. Now she's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Ah, pardon, je parlais les voix dans ma tête. Attends, je regarde tout en bas si j'ai lâché la dague. Oh. Oh, il y a une phrase qui m'a bien plu. J'ai l'impression que vous m'en voulez. Non, t'inquiète. Ah, je vais lui donner la lame.
You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. abstain?
D'accord, donc vous êtes tous contre moi en fait.
You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her. You're going to get everyone killed, you know that, right? But of course you do.
Ouais, Morgan.
You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
You hear a clanging of metal against the dirt floor, and the chains fall from the princess's wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time, that sneaky little... A woman after my own heart. It's a shame we just gave her a weapon, because if I were her, I'd use it on us right now. Luckily for us, you're not her. Oh, we sure think alike, though. I can promise you that. Whatever you say next, you better make it count. She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and...
What do you think happens now?
Poignardé. Ah, je peux rejouer les prix. Je peux jouer la carte de je sais tout. Ou alors je peux juste jouer le truc de... À votre tour de décider maintenant. Mais jouer la carte de je sais tout, parce que dans le cas où elle vient me tuer, on va se réincarner. Et je pourrais peut-être essayer de la guider vers l'entité. Elle vaut pas mieux que ça, je le sais.
her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
This is another trick. You're trying to sow doubt, but it's not going to work on me.
And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No. No, come on, that's not right. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you.
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
Ah, ça y est, elle comprend.
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time.
Et on
Everything goes
s'éteint.
dark, and you die.
L'épine.
You're on a path in the woods. I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted
Non, c'était prévu,
against
vous inquiétez
it.
pas. J'ai tout prévu.
Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was
Vous êtes tous les deux? Il est où
on
le
the
troisième?
right side of that argument.
Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're fixated
Il
on
a
the
fallu que ce
past,
soit lui qui
whereas what you
revienne.
should be is fixated on the future.
Ho ho, a visionary. I like it. Tell me more.
Gladly, my dear fellow, by cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability.
I like journeys. Travelling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable.
Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love.
She hates us.
Does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death.
Maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this... You know, maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do... Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right?
It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom.
Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once.
Twice, actually.
Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction I had planned. Wonderful. If the woods themselves are changing, then that's all the more reason for you to take this... Someone's...
Allez, on sait. Vous ignorez les deux parce que j'ai la flemme de relire vos trucs.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin.
Pire en pire.
I think it's clear where everyone stands. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one too. Ignore him, he's just talking. The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore. The burned out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it, the only furniture of
Ah
note
putain,
is the
c'est
crisp
qu'à la
shell
dague
of
parce
what
qu'il y a
was
la table,
once
ça
a
veut dire que la
table.
dague existe encore.
A pristine... Wait, this isn't right. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here, and if she has it... Let me guess, you want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it.
Mais non,
That's not
sorte
how
de
this is supposed to
suivre
work.
l'opportuniste.
If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We've already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers.
Unless her heart... You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent.
You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror and behold our handsome features.
Je voulais surtout pas qu'il parle le miroir.
It went away when we touched it last time.
J'ai pas le
Reach
choix.
forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. What are you doing?
Alas, our fine features remain. Well, yes, that's...
On va la faire, vous trois. Allez, on descend.
You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Their spines point courteous.
These thorns are an expression of her pain.
Her voice.
I can't get away from you, can I? You betray me, I kill you, and you come back. You let me kill you, and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
T'inquiète.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was
Oh
once a
non,
vast
oh la
open
pauvre.
cavern, now
Ça
overrun
me fait
by
de la peine.
briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
Non, je voulais que tu comprennes.
I want to trust you.
Bah t'as plus trop le choix frérot.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us. But it's hard to let it go.
Tu m'as poignardé à retour.
You've hurt me.
Techniquement on est quitte.
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you.
On est quitte.
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's
Pas
right.
faux.
There's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own.
We don't need words to send a message. It is
Je sais que j'écouterai pas parler.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms.
She
Sorry,
trusts
sorry.
us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter?
Yeah, a little. It could just...
We are.
Yeah,
Yes.
or... Hear me out. That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him.
I see that the lines have.
It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he can? Because he's clearly not. That doesn't matter. He's.
Fair.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her. You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision.
On le savait, c'est ça bat la race l'opportuniste.
I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. That's right, what he said.
Mais maintenant, de toute façon, elle m'a tué. Enfin, je l'ai tué. Elle m'a tué, on est à égalité. Tour
We've
par
already
0.
given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her.
And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the...
You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart. But you're not going to do that, are you?
Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an
You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
T'es pas obligé de nous
You
décrire.
actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her. Kiss her now before the moment ends.
Y a pas de explorer, du coup c'est des points qui feront bouger le scénario. Allez,
Can
fine.
we actually do that?
Non. T'as raison, on peut pas.
No, you can't. Absolutely not.
You know as well as I do that we can.
Je voulais pas faire ça. Je suis une merde. J'ai envie de crever.
And we wouldn't want to throw away a chance for a special moment, now would we?
Une prochaine suisse, c'est d'accord. On est à 3 contre 1.
If I
Mais
were
non,
only
attends, comme ça.
capable of throwing myself off a bridge.
Tu peux.
Well, are you going to describe our steamy, romantic kiss?
You lean in and you kiss her.
Et rien que le fait qu'ils soient obligés de le lire, finalement, ça change tout.
And she reciprocates enthusiastically. You kiss. It's done. Are you happy now?
Come on now, this is the big moment. You can do better than that. Ugh, fine.
You and the princess lock eyes and stare deep into each other's souls with all the roaring emotion that comes from letting what once was hatred turn into pure, unbridled passion. Are you making fun of us? And then each of you close your eyes and kiss. Words can describe neither the nuclear fire nor the oceanic depth of your connection. Please. I think he actually likes romance. If history itself were not about to end, historians would document this moment for the rest of time. Musicians would write era-defining ballads, and great artists would expend entire lifetimes trying to merely capture the spark you hold right now. He's making fun of us.
Il se plaît carrément votre tête.
It doesn't matter either way because this is good stuff.
I'm aware of my skills. But unfortunately for you, the moment doesn't last forever. You open your eyes, the princess smiles gently up at you. Time for you to damn the whole world to oblivion, I suppose.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Dis pas ça comme ça.
Her hand slips into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stair. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so
Dommage.
graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out. Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade. We cut through those other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
As you step into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield. Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without
Il y a un
obstacle.
monde.
This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this? Your nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn star-crossed lovers like us to a cycle of violence and despair isn't. We'll weave something new together. Something better. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your
Mais le chalet, il est en
last
miettes. Pourquoi vous passez pas
chance.
sur le côté des murs?
We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Bah, c'est notre liberté.
Hands clasped,
Eh merde.
the two of you open the door and step out into a new day, you irredeemable murderers.
What do we do now?
Ah si, ça bat, ça y est.
Where's everything going?
T'inquiète pas, tout va bien se passer.
Why is it so cold?
T'inquiète pas, tout va bien se passer.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Tout va
It
bien.
feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right? If they think it's bad, I'm with them. Okay. If you say so. She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it. Finally, we're going places.
À plus les gars. J'ai envie de pleurer chaque fois que je leur dis au revoir, c'est horrible. Chaque fois que je suis obligé de passer. On a fondu.
growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. This one yearns for connection she feels she doesn't deserve. Even when shown compassion, she hid herself away. She will make for a cautious heart. Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen.
Ma vision est
Just as I
limitée,
have
nous,
seen
vous
what you
avez,
have seen.
vous avez vu la
The
même chose que
angles
moi,
of my vantage
et
do not offer
réciproquement,
me hidden truth,
les angles que
but
je
my
discerne
attention is turned
ne me
inward,
permettent pas de révéler la vérité
except when
cachée,
you are here with me.
et toute mon attention est tournée vers moi, sauf en votre présence.
Perhaps this will change when our work is done. As easily as you can stand to be you, you are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant, it changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any
Vos
less.
actions me font évoluer, oui,
Does
mais
it
pas pour le
make you
pire.
worse?
Par ailleurs, cela
Do you resent
ne
me?
m'empêche pas de tenir tout autant à vous. Cela a-t-il une incidence négative sur vous? Éprouvez-vous un ressentiment à mon égard?
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and tells me new secrets. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Oh, quelle violence!
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Eh bien,
And
les
in the
amis,
basement of that cabin
j'espère que
is a
ça vous aura plu.
princess.
J'adore le jeu. Clairement, je l'adore. On se reverra la prochaine fois, sûrement pour la suite de ça ou la suite d'autres choses, parce qu'on a beaucoup de choses à finir. En attendant, allez manger, allez vous reposer, allez dormir, allez faire ce que vous voulez. Ce n'est plus mon problème. Et bien évidemment, ciao tout le monde.